24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman. Welcome to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. I hope everybody's enjoying at least a couple more weeks of little to no traffic in the mornings. I know I am, although I don't have a lot and I don't have to go very far in the mornings, but definitely enjoy the less traffic we have in the summertime before school kicks off again. This later in this month. Jeez, I keep thinking September, but no, school starts for some reason really early in August. All right, we got on this segment of the Business Buzz this morning. I am happy to introduce our guest, Joe Hawkins, a coach and a personal trainer from Karv Gym. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Kathy. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
I'd just like to say at this point as well, I've only been on the island for a few weeks, and so I hope everybody understands my Yorkshire accent.
It's a Yorkshire accent?
Please tell me if you don't understand everything that I'm saying to you.
You're fine. I think if it's a Hackney thing, I won't understand it.
No. It's Yorkshire. I'm further north.
All right. No problem at all. So only a few weeks on island. How are you?
6 weeks.
How are you liking Cayman?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's paradise. I feel quite privileged to be here. So yeah, I'm really enjoying.
Definitely a change of weather, scenery.
Change of scenery, change of pace. Yeah, it's part of the draw for me coming here is the different lifestyle. So I came from the hustle bustle of living just outside London for a number of years before I came here. So yes, I've got nothing but good things to say so far.
So I guess it's only been a few weeks. So what's your impression been so far in the sense of the kind of wellness community compared to where you're from?
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a buzz on the island with it. So when I interviewed with the company I started working for initially last year, I did look in and do some research on the island and what's out there. And there's obviously a lot of people into their fitness. I mean, it kind of makes sense when you're living on an island where you're wearing next to nothing a lot of the time. And
Yes.
People want to be in good shape and look in good shape. But yeah, in comparison to the UK, I think there's maybe some things that are just a little bit further behind, but it seems to me that there's been quite a bit of catch up over the last couple of years just from talking to people and the research that I've done. So I'm interested to see just what impact I can make on the island, to be honest with you.
Well, let's hear a little bit about you. So you're a personal trainer, you're a health coach, you're a high performance coach as well, or
Yep.
performance coach. So let us know how you got into this career, a little bit about your background.
Yeah, I mean, I had a little bit of a crossroads in my early 40s and decided that I wanted to do my qualifications. It's something that I thought about for quite a number of years prior to that. I've been around gyms since the age of 21, so weight training is my thing. I did spend a period of my time as a competitive bodybuilder.
Did you go pro by any chance?
Say again?
Did you go pro by any chance?
No, I didn't go pro.
Okay.
No, I never reached the dizzy heights of pro. And back then, it was very different to how it is now to get your pro card as well. But yeah, I decided I wanted to, like I say, hit a bit of a crossroads with my life and my career. I actually moved back from living somewhere else abroad around about that time. And yeah, that's what got me into coaching. And then actually my friend who got me to move here to the island is the guy who got me my first job in a gym back in the UK.
Oh, I like how that connection works.
Yeah. He's like my brother.
Okay.
Is Kev. So yeah, so it is kind of things have gone kind of full circle again, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're with Karv Gym.
Yep.
Can you tell us about some of the key programs that are offered at Karv Gym?
Yeah, so for me personally, when it comes to programming, there's so many different ways of approaching it. Now, I do one-to-one coaching. I will do some train as a pair coaching. Karv originally brought me here to help them set up their corporate wellness program, which we're going to discuss in more detail shortly. But yeah, the one-to-one coaching it has to be tailored to that individual. And I know that may sound like an obvious thing, but there's a lot of coaches out there who give what I call off-the-shelf programming. I've been in gyms, I look around and I can see their different clients all doing the same kind of workouts. So that's not what I'm about. There's a lot of different factors to take into consideration when you're designing a program. And that's what their desired outcome, end goal or end goals are. If they have a specific time frame, a lot of people don't, but some people do, whether it's a wedding or a vacation or
a goal.
A race. Yeah, a goal. You should always have a goal, and that can be a very, very distant goal that you work towards. And then you need to ascertain their current level of knowledge, expertise and experience when it comes to their training and nutrition. So once I've started building the picture, I will then look at the packages that I offer, and I do packages with 45-minute sessions, coaching sessions, 60-minute coaching sessions, and 75-minute coaching sessions.
Okay. Is this different from the personal training sessions?
No, so personal trainer is actually, it is more of a UK terminology. I've noticed since I've been here, and I do call myself a coach. It's kind of the same thing, but a lot of Americans refer to it as coaching, and I think on the island here there's a mix of using the term personal trainer and coach, and it's quite an important point. There are some trainers who just stand in the gym and count reps with their clients, and then there are others who coach.
So what is that difference
I'm
there?
rubbish at counting. I don't focus on counting. And all my clients will tell you, if I'm counting 8 and they're on 12, they look at me with an angry look on their face.
We all do, because we know we hit 12.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm there I'm looking at their form. I'm thinking about their breathing during that exercise. They are the most important things. It's not counting reps. And then coaching is solving solutions, and that's largely what it's about on the gym floor and off the gym floor. So that's where the coaching comes in, rather than just being a trainer. And that can be, if an exercise doesn't suit somebody for whatever reason it is, that variation, then you will find another variation that suits that person better, so that they can execute it correctly. Okay. And that's where coaching kind of comes into play.
Are you guiding them through a nutrition program as well, with the coaching and like checking in on their kind of everyday lives, stress factors, anything? So
if you hire me as a coach, you have my people want to use my services. There's various levels of service that I will offer, and that is absolutely down to the individual in front of me, whether it's the time that they want to spend in those sessions. Off the gym floor, once you've written the programs out that have got all their progression and what have you built in, there's a lot of work off the gym floor if you're coaching properly. And that's writing out programs, that's writing out their nutritional guidance and support. That's constantly evolving. A lot of the nutrition is a moving target. And you have to be aware of that, and your client needs to be aware of that. Okay. There's a lot of work off the gym floor. You had
mentioned something at the beginning when I asked the question, and you had said, there's a lot of trainers or coaches that will just kind of take something off the shelf and say, boom, this is the model that we're using. Yeah. It doesn't always work, right? The one kind of solution doesn't fit everybody.
No, certainly not. I mean, I think probably one of the best analogies is if I've got 25-year-old Brad in front of me who, has kind of no real longevity of training and not picked up maybe the odd niggle or injury. He's a single man. He's got a lot of time on his hands. Like I say, relatively injury-free, fairly good mobility. If I compare Brad at 25 with Mary, who's 45, who's got 2 kids at home, who's also got a busy career, or maybe she's a stay-at-home mum and still obviously extremely busy. And along the way, she's picked up maybe some injuries from running in the past.
Sounds like me minus the kids. Like I'm almost married.
Well, you know where to come for help. But yeah, so and that's just one analogy where you have to treat those two people as very different individuals. But I have seen the Brad and the Mary in the gym who are with a certain trainer, and they're doing the same. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily going to be a bad thing every time, but there are a lot of variables to take into consideration when you're coaching and writing programs properly.
I would say so. I had a coach for a limited time. I want to say about 6-7 months, right around when we were just coming out of lockdown here with COVID, and it was I'm a bit hard-headed, and anybody listening that knows me will be like a bit. So a little bit hard-headed, but then we're all set in our own ways. So there was some really hard aspects for me to deal with in going into the program. First of all, it was a really crazy, intense program, and I was not trying to go into a bodybuilding show, but that's what it felt like. Yeah. And the coaching aspect, I realized how much that helped me, because although I did get a program on personal training, I'm pretty good with form. Every once in a while, I have to check with a trainer in the gym. Am I doing something correctly? But when it came to the coaching aspect for me, it really did help keep me on track. Although sometimes I felt like the coach was so frustrated with me because I'm not really answering the questions, if I'm feeling moody that week or not happy with my own progress or what's going on. So I think it's a lot as a coach to take on, because there's so much of somebody's mental that you're also dealing with. It is, but I mean, you just touched on a couple of important things there, because a coach shouldn't get frustrated. There's a time and a place where that can come about. But again, so I don't know your coach. He wasn't frustrated with me. I was thinking, man, I'm going to drive a coach crazy.
Right. Yeah. No. So I mean, a really good example now is, and we're talking about differences. So how I approach my female clients compared to my male clients, there's one really big thing that's a very important factor that needs taken into consideration, and that is your cycle that can happen every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, however long it is for you as an individual, generally speaking. So training around your cycle and eating around your cycle is important to take into consideration, and it's overlooked by a lot of male and female coaches. And for a lot of women, for 1 to 2 weeks, they need to understand that it's not all, but for a large number, they need to understand that they should be accepting of their performance may well hit a plateau and may even go a little bit backwards. Your balance and coordination might be affected in your workouts. There's a lot going on with your body, because at the end of the day, your body is potentially preparing to make another human being, and that's a big deal. Right. But it gets overlooked by a lot of coaches. So, and things like that should be taken into consideration. I think even for us as women, we don't always understand the nutrition aspect around our cycles, and how that does lead to our energy, or it can diminish it and whatnot. So, and how we can kind of overload on eating some stuff we shouldn't. So sometimes we do need that. Not sometimes. I know I definitely can say I need the help quite often. And okay, just stay on track, keep focused. Let's get you on track here. So that's what I appreciate with coaching. Yeah, and it's just having that understanding and not being tough on yourself. And I find a lot of my female clients over the years, we all know comparison is a thief of joy, and I have a lot of my female clients who are comparing themselves to their male partners, husbands, boyfriends when you're looking at progress. And again, it's not for all women, but largely speaking, it's a slower process. And if you're looking at looking at a fat loss journey, for example, so we've already touched on what's happening with your body like every month, every 4 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever it is. So that's slowing down the process, but also you carry less muscle mass, generally speaking. Right. So and it is, despite what a lot of, I think more women these days are more clued up when it comes to the resistance training side of things, and I'll still get the odd female who says they're worried about they're going to turn into Arnie or whatever. It's extremely difficult to put on lean muscle for men and women, but even more so for women. Naturally. So there's nothing to worry about there, but it takes longer. for most women than it does compared to men.
Different builds in men and women, or males and females. Is there a coaching philosophy you have, or any kind of frameworks that you do touch on and try to work with when it comes to your training sessions?
Yeah, so philosophy, back to what I said a couple of minutes ago, really. Good coaching is about, first of all, it's about finding solutions. And I know we can all be guilty of, I can't do that, or that's a problem and there's no way around it. But it's always, a good coach will take the time to step back, assess the situation, and generally speaking, there's more than one way of doing it. Yes, as coaches, do we strive to go down the optimal route? Yes, but is that always a realistic option for a lot of people? No. So, it's realistic and manageable goals. So if somebody comes to me and they tell me that they want to look like X by the time we've got 4 weeks, and if that is completely unrealistic, I will never ever go, yes, of course, let's get started. I will sit them down, manage their expectations, and say this is what we can achieve in that period of time, and for what you want to achieve, I guesstimate will take X amount of time, but there's still no reason why we can't get started. We
got to go to commercial break, but I want to ask there. So, like I said, I can be a little hard-headed, right? And if I came to you as somebody who needs some training, some coaching, and you put me on a program, and I said, you know what, Joe, I need you to be a little harsher. If I'm telling you this is what I need you to be a little bit more strict with me. Don't be my best friend in here. Be really direct and real with me, because that's what I need, and that's what's going to make me keep going. Do you take that kind of, direction or feedback from your clients?
Well, yes.
Okay.
So I'm smiling at you now, because the vast majority of people who've trained with me, as much as everything I've talked about, I will push you hard in your workouts.
Okay.
I'm not an enter-trainer, as I call them. I'm not going to stand and talk to you endlessly in the gym. All your rest periods are timed and everything. You will be pushed in, because that is largely what you're paying me for. So, yes.
Okay, good to know. All right, we're going to head to a commercial break right now, and when we come back, we're going to hear more about Joe Hawkins and Karv Gym.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
The Cayman Islands has a rich history of recognizing sports and recreation as an important element in the social and economic development of these islands. In 1935, Governor Cornwall organized the first regatta for catboats and schooners, both as a social event and as a means of encouraging tourists visiting Jamaica to come to the Cayman Islands. By 1947, it was recommended that every school should have a sports day, followed by the first inter-school sports day held in 1949. By 1976, the Cayman sailing team was in the Olympics, followed by the island's participation in Carifta, Central America and Caribbean Games, Pan American Games, the Commonwealth Games, Island Games, World Championships in athletics, and World Cup qualifiers in football.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and in studio with me this morning, I have Joe Hawkins, personal trainer and coach from Karv Gym. So right before the break, I was asking Joe a couple questions about, if I'm going to go get a coach or personal trainer, how you could deal with maybe the things that I really need, and as a customer, what I would be saying to the coach or trainer. And Joe said, absolutely, I'm going to listen to your feedback. And it's so important because it's an individual journey for all of us. And as we said earlier, one program doesn't suit everybody. Everybody has different needs and different goals. So you kind of have to assess every individual that comes your way that wants coaching or personal training a little differently, right?
Yep.
So when it comes to going to the gym and trying to have a new kind of wellness program or fitness journey in your life, what elements, I would say, are included in the wellness programs with Karv or with you when somebody's coming with you to be coached or trained that helps address mental and emotional health? Yeah,
so myself and Karv are working really hard at the moment to create a corporate wellness program. The two guys that own the gym feel very passionate about this. It's actually two lawyers, so they're in that environment. So originally when I interviewed with these guys last year, it was very clear from the outset just how important the corporate wellness program was to them. So,
do you know why?
Because they see firsthand what's happening with people in that environment. The burnout, the stress levels, the overworking, the culture of quite heavy drinking and overeating, and as we can all imagine, I've not myself operated in that world. I have obviously had many clients over the years who are involved in that environment, in that world, and so I've seen it with individuals.
It's a pretty big environment here, and
if
you haven't noticed that, you'll notice that.
Yeah, exactly that. And so and there are, these guys are not actually trying to reinvent the wheel, but they are trying to disrupt what's going on at the moment with what the people are offering. And what I mean by that is, there are people out there who are bringing to the table corporate wellness programs, and it's almost it sounds like, and from the research that we've done, it's just a box ticking exercise. And these people need real help. So these guys are trying to create something. So obviously we're not mental health practitioners. We are not psychiatrists or psychologists or counsellors. So obviously I want to make that clear from the start.
Some might treat you as one.
I've had to have conversations in the past with people who think they are paying me for that service as well, when they're not. But yeah, so obviously you can get direct help with those issues. But these guys are wanting to bring in stress management practitioners, for example. So that's obviously a big thing. And then lots of things that we've already talked about, training and moving more and well and eating better more consistently and drinking less is going to help with your mental health. And even your emotional state, if you're getting help with those things, they will, as a number of other, along with a number of other things, help to improve that for you without a shadow of a doubt.
Absolutely. And I've read a couple different quotes, but in summary, it's basically like for a lot of people who might not go to a actual mental health professional, they'll take at the gym and they'll say, and it's not entirely a replacement for anybody out there that's listening to this, that you might need some help, in a mental health aspect, but they'll take the gym as a replacement and be like, that's the therapy that I need. The gym is the only therapy I need, kind of thing. So there's so many great benefits from being in some sort of a wellness program, whether you're just going to the gym on your own, personal training, or part of a corporate program. There's so many great benefits. Nobody ever feels bad after a workout.
Exactly that. I mean, I'm very guilty of saying, oh, that was a terrible workout. But you've just made a really important point, Kathy. There is no such thing as a bad workout. Unless you're coming away and you've hurt yourself in that session, injured yourself.
And we don't always understand the relationship between our food and our kind of emotional state. Mm-hmm. And there's such a crazy tie there, and just the things that we keep learning. I don't even want to know so much more about that out there, how food can affect us in different kind of ways of performance. Yeah,
I mean, there's obviously certain food, and so the thing with diet and food nutrition, one thing I'd like to make a point on now is there is actually no food that is inherently bad for us, not one. So what is important is that there's a lot of things that we like out there. So your very hedonistic foods that we've all got things that we really, really like. Those things need to be moderated. Yes. I will never, ever turn around to somebody I'm working with and say, you cannot have that. Unless there's some kind of health issue, if you've got some irritable bowel syndrome or whatever it is, then there's the time, obviously, you need to start excluding foods. But there are a lot of people out there, especially on the internet, who are, looking wide-eyed and shouting into a microphone in a supermarket saying, this is bad for you. And I hate it. Mm-hmm. It really, really grinds my gears because there isn't actually anything in it. It creates a lot of there's a lot of misinformation, and a lot of people get overwhelmed by it and confused, very confused by it. A good program is going to help you realise that yes, you should eat much more of certain foods, but you can also keep other certain foods in. And then gut health is extremely important. A lot of people underestimate how bad gut health can affect you and they don't realise.
Just figuring that out right now in my 40s. It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
And it's super important. So the wellness program that we're looking to create is there's all these different factors in it, that are being put into it, just like you would with any kind of other coaching program. But also there's going to be there's more focus on certain elements, and time is a big one. Because a lot of people, we can all say it, I haven't got time, and there's a lot of very busy, overworked, stressed people who start to get even more stressed and feel guilty if they can't work out, for example. So we've got some very cool ideas at the moment about what we're going to do to help combat that.
Can you share what those ideas are?
And find solutions. Not everything at the moment.
A little tease of something?
Yeah, it's about, for example, bringing the gym to you rather than you having to go to the gym.
Okay.
Is one thing. And then, again, not trying to reinvent the wheel. We are looking at bringing to the table a plan that helps somebody manage their stress and to a degree their mental health and emotional state, to help them make better food choices at home and if they're out, eating in that corporate environment, to realise that, just the effects of alcohol. We're going to bring in practitioners who you can go and have your bloods done and have your bloods assessed for certain things, and somebody who will talk to you about what the results of those are and what you best need to do.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think those couple of elements that you mentioned that'll be part of the wellness program, the corporate wellness programs with Karv Gym, it's important because we don't have a lot of time, but we're also in such a, I kind of deem it as fast food culture, and I don't mean specifically fast food, but the way we treat a lot of things in our life is how we would look at fast food.
Yeah, totally.
And that comes with so much. So the gym could be something like that. Our personal kind of fitness or wellness journey could be that. It's just, okay, got to do it really fast. Got to do this next thing really fast.
Yeah.
And it's like you're not really taking the time to kind of understand that. People don't really have that time, as you said. So being able to bring it to them and say, okay, boom, here we are. And here are the other things that you might not have thought about, but that can help you. So we don't have to necessarily send you to say, hey, go get a checkup, so we can better understand, what your body's experiencing right now. So I love the fact that Karv is considering making that a little bit easier for people. Yeah. Because we're in that fast food kind of a culture of life, but we also want the conveniences coming to us.
And that's exactly it. And it's helping these people, because again, we're talking about good coaching. It's easy for coaches to go, well, make the time. Now, I am also an advert, I will say, I kind of defy a lot of people to not find 20 or 30 minutes in their day. 3 days a week. If they're doing nothing, you can. Now, you can do that.
You can. It's about time management.
It is about time management. It's about screen time. But when you're dealing with people in a larger group and, you've got a number of those people together, so we're here looking for solutions to a lot of barriers that get put up. We're all about finding the solutions. There's always a way. So that's a big part of what the Karv Corporate Wellness Program is about.
We're at 8 a.m., so we gotta finish off, Joe. I hate to say it.
Quick.
So I'm going to give you 1 minute if you want to give any final thoughts, how people can get in touch with you, where the gym's located.
Yeah, so the gym, Karv Gym, is down at Earth Place. So I am on Instagram myself as total_performance_Cayman. So that's my Instagram. So yeah, you can get in touch with me on there. Come down to the gym and say hi. We're very excited. There's one thing I want to mention quickly. There is going to be a community event coming up, which I'm in the process of organising with a charity through Karv Gym. We're really excited to do that. Hopefully it's going to be at the end of September. Okay. So there'll be some information going out about that too. Yes. So kind of watch this space.
I did see on the website, which is Karv, it's KARVKV.com. Yes. It spoke a little bit about the kind of community events that the gym does put on, which I liked because it said alcohol-free events, and I haven't been drinking alcohol for a few years, so I was like, oh, I kind of like that. So for the people that are looking for something in that community of people that...
Well, I will let you know personally when that event is going to take place, and we'd love you to come down.
Thank you so much. We got to go to the 8 a.m. news right now, and thank you so much. That is Joe Hawkins, coach and personal trainer from Karv Gym.
Thank you, Kathy. And studio time now by Price Right is 8:01.
Shop happy at the Live Better sale, now on at the new look Priced Right.
Save $50 on the Ninja Creamy Deluxe Ice Cream Maker, now just $219.99.
Or transform your living space with the Samsung 55-inch QLED 4K Frame Smart TV for $899.99. Save $100.
And get 15% off all patio sets.
Happiness is finding quality products at great prices.
Shop happy at Priced Right. Price is good until 3rd August 2024.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
The mission of the National Conservation Council and the Department of Environment has worked to protect and conserve the unique plants, animals, and habitats that make the Cayman Islands so special. Learn more at conservation.ky.
The new KFC nuggets have arrived. That unlike the no-gets. Ours are handmade using 100% white meat, unlike the no-gets. At KFC, we hand-bread every day to achieve the perfect flavor. After you try our delicious and crispy nuggets in the original recipe, you'll never settle for less. KFC, the real nuggets. It's finger-licking good.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecasts, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
With your latest news, I'm April Cummings. A delay in the case of a woman accused of forging a document from the Department of Commerce and Investments. Back in July, defense counsel for Jessica Jackson Eden indicated a plea deal was in the works with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. On Friday, Eden's attorney advised the judge that an offer was to be made, but the ODPP had not provided the legal papers, which were served on Friday morning. To provide the defendant with adequate time, the case has been delayed until the 20th of September, when pleas are expected in the matter. Ms. Eden remains on bail until then. Financial Services Minister the Honorable Andre Ebanks tells Radio Cayman the recent publication of Langston Sibley's book on the history of Cayman's financial services industry is a pretty big deal.
For Mr. Langston Sibley's to reduce to writing a history of the regulation of the financial services industry and make the point that he knows I also make locally and internationally, where you now have text behind it, that we are no longer an offshore center, which has the connotation that something secretive is happening, but we have been transformed to an international financial center, is a fantastic contribution to the Cayman Islands legacy.
So this creates, in writing, a bit about the journey, the importance of regulation, the key factors that contribute to this, something tangible that people can read for generations to come.
That's history. That's it in a nutshell. It is history. And we, as a continuing to grow country, need more of this, and even in other areas, who document our history.
The book, titled The Regulation of the Financial Industry in the Cayman Islands from Offshore Financial Center to International Financial Center, provides an overview of the development and evolution of Cayman's regulatory framework over the past 25 years, as well as an explanation of the changes made against the backdrop of intense scrutiny and review by various international bodies, standard setters, and other governments. Mr. Sibley's hopes to have his book available in local bookstores soon. In the meantime, you can contact D. Webb Sibleys at cnw.ky or call 926-0478 if you'd like a copy. As students studying overseas prepare to head back to school, the nonprofit Cayman Connection sends them off in style. CIGTV's Donna Bush has more.
The evening event held on Saturday attracted first-time students, those currently studying, and recent graduates. Student ambassadors and regional managers joined Executive Director Ashley Smith in sharing information with both students and parents.
Things were amazing. We're super happy with how the student event went, and we couldn't have had a better turnout.
It was an evening filled of fun, games, and Caymanian bites for everyone to enjoy. Now, the goal of Cayman Connection is to build an overseas community for the Cayman Islands diaspora to create meaningful connections, meet like-minded people, grow networks, share resources, introduce skills and knowledge, and of course to help Caymanians overseas grow while connected to home.
That is your local news at this hour. I'm April Cummings. Now to the BBC for stories making headlines around the world.
BBC News, I'm John Shea. A doctor strike in India in protest over the rape and murder of a trainee doctor is causing long queues at hospitals across the country. There have been calls from local unions for a nationwide shutdown. Iran has dismissed calls from Western countries to refrain from taking action against Israel. Tehran has promised to retaliate for the killing of the Hamas leader on its soil. Palestinian media say Israeli forces have killed an 18-year-old man during a raid in the occupied West Bank. Violence in the territory has greatly increased since the start of the war in Gaza last October. Greece says a huge wildfire that's been threatening the capital, Athens, has been reduced to scattered hotspots 40 hours after it broke out in the town of Varnavas. Officials say there's no longer an active front. Another district in the Russian region of Kursk has started evacuating residents as Ukraine's week-long military incursion continues. Moscow said on Tuesday that it had foiled fresh Ukrainian attacks, but Russian war bloggers spoke of ongoing battles. A murder inquiry has opened in Bangladesh into the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who was ousted last week. 6 top figures in her government are also being investigated over the killing of a man by police. It's the first case filed against Ms. Hasina since she resigned and fled to India. It's emerged that a pilot who was killed in a helicopter crash in Australia on Monday stole the aircraft after attending a party. They smashed into a hotel in the city of Cairns, injuring 2 guests. And Berlin Zoo has announced that one of its giant pandas is pregnant again, months after her previous cubs were sent to China. There were celebrations when Meng gave birth to Germany's first ever pandas in 2019. The twins were taken away in December under an agreement with Beijing. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the very latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 79%. The barometric pressure is 29.96 inches and rising. The wind is east at 8 knots. Overnight low temperature was 83. Synopsis indicate isolated showers along with light to moderate east to northeast winds and seas are expected over the next 24 hours as the ridge of high pressure lingers north of the Caribbean Sea. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving west. The National Hurricane Center is issuing advisories on Tropical Storm Ernesto, which at 7 this morning was located at 16.6 north, 61.9 west. It's about 10 miles southeast of Guadalupe. Tropical Storm Ernesto is moving west at 18 miles per hour, with maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour. This storm poses no immediate threat to the Cayman Islands. Now, the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder. Temperatures will rise to the low 90s with the heat index near 109 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers and temperatures dipping to the low 80s tonight. Your winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. You can expect a low tide this morning at 10:26, high tide this evening at 6:24. The sun will set this evening at 6:53 and will rise tomorrow morning at 7 minutes after 6. And the outlook is calling for light to moderate easterly winds and seas through Thursday morning.
We were on the edge of a breakthrough. I knew the substance was extraterrestrial, but I didn't realize.
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with managing my insurance?
Well, long story long, the entire lab exploded, and the radioactive sludge went everywhere. I ended up in the hospital for a few weeks, but I was able to manage everything with the CG online portal.
The online portal. Safe, convenient, simple. CG Britcay. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
A dental checkup allows your dentist to identify any issues and maintain your oral health. Early treatment or prevention for problems is crucial, as untreated issues can become harder to manage later. Children should develop good oral health habits early to prevent tooth decay, which occurs when sugars from food and drinks interact with plaque bacteria, producing acid that causes cavities. Signs of tooth decay in children include yellow, brown, or black marks on their teeth and complaints of pain, especially when eating or drinking.
Radio Cayman News.
Arrested a 76-year-old man from Cayman Brac on suspicion of murder.
Police say the senior politician was transported to the hospital.
Daring daylight robbery unfolded at the Diamond International Store.
I'm struggling to see how we have spent more than double what we budgeted.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning. Let's take a look at what's happening on our roads. To the east on Shamrock Road and Rex Crichton Boulevard, traffic flowing at a good pace. Little steady traffic on the Linford Pearson Highway as well as on coming off of Bobby Thompson Way. Cool Road, traffic is steady but flowing. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue flowing at a good pace. No issues on Owen Roberts Drive. If you're heading towards the airport, as traffic is light to moderate. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moving on moderately in both directions. Into Georgetown on Shedmore looking pretty good. Out of Georgetown on Shedmore, moderate flow of traffic. And traffic is light to moderate on Edward Street. Now, if you've seen accidents or incidents, please give us a call here at Radio Cayman 949-6990. That's the traffic report. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another traffic update.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller. Business Buzz.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. And in this segment of the Business Buzz, I'm happy to welcome from Aquarius General Contractors, we have the owner himself, Mr. Ossy Moraes. Good morning. Look at me. Good afternoon. It just means I want to go back to bed already. Good afternoon. Good morning, Mr. Ossy. How you doing?
Good morning, Miss Kathy. It's nice of you to have us here and giving us a chance to be on this show.
Yeah, of course. No problem. Happy to have you. You were so excited. You were telling me so much information before the segment started, so I know you have so much to share with our listeners, especially construction is a big booming industry in Cayman, development is, and it's good to have a contractor here. We can hear a little bit about your business, about contractors in general, what services you offer, what you have done in Cayman, and for us to know how to find a good contractor, what to look out for, those kind of things, because everybody everybody has a different style of doing things, right? And
yes,
of course,
that's true.
I've seen some of the work that you've showed me in some of the magazines here that's in Real Life Caribbean, and wow, it is amazing. So we're going to get into all those details right now. But to start off your part in our show, I want to get a bit of a history of who you are. So who is Ossy? Where did you come from? How did you get to Cayman? Let's start there.
I'm from Goa, India, and my profession is an engineer, and I came to Cayman Island in November 1997. I started to work with Asphaltic way back then as a civil engineer, and within 8 months I shifted over to Hurlstone Limited, where I worked with them as a construction supervisor for 11 long years, thanks to Mr. John Hurlstone, who was always nice, and it was a good company till things went slow. And later on I joined Kirk Home Center, worked there for a year as a hardware manager.
Shout out to Bridget from Kirk Home Center. Yes,
for Miss Bridget Kirkconnell. And from there, after working with Bridget for a year, I got back into construction, and I worked as construction manager for Moraes, and worked there for 4 years. Built a Londoner building, renovated around 5 to 6 of the older buildings that they have, and from there I moved out of Moraes in 2016, and at that time I thought of doing a company of my own. Started my company around in 2016, 2017. Got my first break with working with health service authorities. Mr. Chris McNamee gave me a chance to bid on a job at the Faith Hospital in Cayman Brac to do some renovation works. And from there we moved on. Initially we started very slowly and small projects. And with the small projects gave us a chance to showcase what we could do and how we do our works. We worked renovation works at Windsor Village, where we did all the pergolas that were outside. And from there on, I also got back with my friend, the architect, Mr. Robert Towell. And Robert Towell gave me a break. And so he gave me the first residential house to build on the island. And we built from a nice house called Baccarat 1. And from there on, we kept on building more and more houses. So far we have built 4 nice residential houses, which you can see in the magazine that I have shown you.
I think nice is quite the euphemism. It's quite the understatement of a word that you're using here. The nice is the smallest word I would use to describe this. It is absolutely stunning. Very beautiful, very luxury, beautiful homes. Nice doesn't even begin to scrape the surface of the images that I'm looking at here. So big up yourself, Mr. Ossy.
Thanks, Miss Kathy.
Yes.
It's thanks to Mr. Robert Towell that I got these chances to build all these lovely houses for all these clients, especially Mr. Lowe, Mr. Sean Rankin, and 2 of the houses were the ones that were developed by Mr. Robert Towell himself.
Okay. Now, how did you get the opportunity to come to Cayman? Did you know somebody that was here already? How did that happen?
Oh, my brother used to be living on the island, and he said, come on and give it a try in Cayman Island. My brother, his name is Lazarus, and so I took a chance and came to Cayman Island, did an interview with Asphaltic, and got a job with them as a civil engineer way back in 1997.
Okay, so your brother was the tie for the island. Yes. I'm always interested to know because it's always a different story, and it's such a curious thing to me. Okay, so you took us through a little bit of your beginning career here in Cayman. What was the year that you said you arrived?
2017. I arrived in 1997.
1997, okay. And then in 2016-17, you started Aquarius General Contractors. Okay, and it's been all good since then. It seems like it from what I can see in the images that you're showing me in Real Life magazine.
Yeah, things have been going smoothly because we have had projects that have been coming. And we see that we do quality work and we give people quality work. Whatever we give in our estimate is what we deliver.
Okay.
And Aquarius really do good quality construction work, as you can see, not only from the pictures that you can see, but if you ever get a chance to come by and look at one of our projects, all my clients are happy.
Excellent.
With whatever work we have done.
I'm sure they are. You have these images right here from Real Life, it's pretty amazing from background 1 and 2. So
yeah, because we
and a lot of people who know real estate know those residences. So
yeah, definitely most of the real estate people know all those residences. Yeah, because the architect who I dealt with, Robert Towle, is very strict. He likes good quality construction. He will come and check each and everything on the job site. He's a man like he wants real high-end finishes. I work with him. I would like to work with other architects on the island and showcase what Aquarius can do in terms of construction and show them our quality of construction, because that's what I pride in, because giving people quality work in every time.
Is a lot of your business and in sustaining Aquarius General Contractors, do you have to establish the relationship with the architects?
Yeah, it's about establishing a good relationship with the architect, because once the architect knows that you can give him good quality work, he will suggest you to clients, and then once that bond is built, then they know, because they can rely on you to give the client the quality of business, the finishing that you can do on the houses.
So that's a part of your business development that you do, like a business to business kind of development there. That's interesting. I never would have thought that. For some reason, I've never built a house yet. We'll just put that yet, because we gotta think positive here and manifest these things. But I'd never thought that that advice might come from the architect instead on, hey, this is who you should consider as a contractor, right? I probably would have just hit Yellow Pages. Yes, I still use the Yellow Pages, and just search that way on, or ask a couple friends. Who did you use? Word of mouth. How does word of mouth work for you? Do you find that word of mouth is some of the best ways that you can find clients that you can work with?
It definitely does. When people meet, my clients meet other people, they definitely ask them, who built your house? They come around. Whenever we have been building, a lot of people come around. They have a look at the quality of construction, the work that we have done, and we work along with the clients too, right? When from the beginning of the job, we try to see, because since he has already talked to the architect with what he wants, then the architect gives you the parameters to work with. He tells you what exactly he wants in the houses, what is the quality of work he wants. Okay. And based on that, we all get together as a team, the client, the architect, and myself, and see that I deliver the best of houses that I can build.
Okay. Now, from 1997 to now, 2024, the landscape of Cayman has changed so much, right? So for you, when you first came to now, how have you seen the construction and the development change in Cayman? Can you describe that?
The construction in Cayman has changed a lot, and from when I started, the first building that I built was behind the old immigration. That was a 6-story building. That was the first biggest 6-story building on the island. From then on, when Ritz-Carlton came in, everything changed to 9 stories.
Right, everything changed.
And now everything commercial is around 10 stories tall or 11 stories tall, depending on how they use the floor space. So everything is changing more commercially, and all the commercial buildings are going to 10 stories now.
Okay. For Aquarius General Contractors, is there more of a sector that you specialize in more? Like, is it more residential, commercial? Do you have a preference?
I prefer to do residential because I'm good at the residential part. I take small projects, finish them. But we can, given a chance, I have the capability to do commercial buildings too, because having worked at Moraes and built the London building, and just being a single construction manager and handle the whole building from every aspect of the job, including estimating the job and finishing the job within the budget and on time. There was a strict timeline because Mr. Moraes wanted to have the building ready. So we got it done, and I got it done basically as I was construction manager there. So our company, Aquarius General Contractors, have the capability to do commercial buildings if given a chance.
Well, excellent. That's what we're letting people know right now. I just wish that they could see the images that I'm seeing here as well. But if you don't, I mean, all you got to do is maybe talk to a real estate agent, ask to see, can I see what Baccarat looks like? And I'm sure there's images out there for people to check out. And again, it is in Real Life magazine. I can probably tell you the edition right here that I am looking at. Nope, I can't. So that's great. Maybe it's on the side. Oh, so this is winter 2022. So if you can find the winter 2022 of Real Life, you can find some images of Baccarat in there. And that's definitely what I would encourage people to do, because these are stunning images. And yes, I know there's some interior design aspects going on in here as well that brings that project to life. Also, the summer 2023 edition of Real Life magazine, you can see Baccarat 2 in there. And it's actually featured as well on the cover. So that's pretty cool. Excellent. So if you want to see some of his work, you can check it out there. Do you also have it on your website, which is aquariusgeneralcontractors.ky?
You can see all those images on the website.
Even easier.
And even other smaller works that we have done. We have also done renovation works. We have done the renovation for the Jewish community, the Shabbat, in the 7 Mile shop.
Yeah.
The smaller jobs where we built the interiors and finished them up.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have also done.
So what are your services? Because
we do anything from smaller works.
Mm-hmm.
We do anything from smaller works to residential houses. And we'll be able to handle any commercial works that come.
Okay, so not only just brand new, you'll do renovations.
No, even renovations, we will do them.
Okay, awesome. We're going to hear more about that and a little bit more about what else you have built over the years since you started Aquarius General Contractors. We're going to go to a commercial break right now, and when we return, we're going to hear more from Mr. Ossy.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Get your child ready for the new school year with Total Health in Grand Pavilion. Total Health's comprehensive back-to-school checkups include ENT, eye, and dental pediatric exams. Ensure your child's health with a complete health report card before school begins. Contact Total Health today at 333-2222 or visit totalhealth.ky to schedule your child's back-to-school checkup. Total Health, where wellness meets education, because every child deserves a healthy start.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
All right, welcome back to the Business Buzz, and I am in studio this morning with Mr. Ossy Moraes. He is the founder, the owner of Aquarius General Contractors, and we were just talking about some of the projects Aquarius has done, and I think you have to touch on a few more of the projects you were mentioning.
Okay, Aquarius General Contractors started with doing residential houses.
Mm-hmm.
The first one we did was Baccarat 1.
Mm-hmm.
From there, we moved to we built Sun, Sen and Seas for Mr. Thomas Lowe. From there, we went back to building Baccarat 2, another residential house. All these houses are 4 to 5 bedroom houses. They're all in the 1.8 to $1.2 million range. And then we built recently, last year till December, we built a house for Mr. Sean Rankin. That too also was in Crystal Harbor.
Okay.
So, and we have done other smaller works, like renovation works for bathrooms at the Catholic Church. We are doing a little addition to their rectory behind, for the church, where they are doing a little conference room.
Okay.
And we are open to people calling us and giving us more work. We are ready to estimate any job that come along. So that will help us. And as a contractor, as a general contractor, I can assure you that we will give you the best quality of works that Aquarius can give. And you can always come by and have a look at any of these houses that we have built, the quality of work that we have done.
All right. Now, there's so many contractors in Cayman. We know construction is a big thing. Development is going to be a big focus in Cayman's future. That's not going to go away. Hopefully it won't be as fast, and it'll be kind of something more streamlined and a little bit easier to manage. But being that there are different contracting companies people can go to, what would you say sets you apart from the other contractors? What would be, I guess, your unique selling position?
My unique selling position is the quality and the finishing work that we do.
Okay.
We do high-end quality work, and anybody who has seen the work that we have done, they will always be happy with the quality of work that we have done, and they will always come back if they have other projects to do. Because I heard from my clients that in case they do a house, they will recommend me to friends, and they will themselves do other projects.
Right, and as we talked about, word of mouth is a big thing. It's
Yes.
helped you tremendously as well with Aquarius. Okay, so I got that now. Now that's your unique selling point, which I appreciate. So it's good to know. You also mentioned a little earlier before we went to break how you're able to deliver things on budget. And I think that's a really a common issue. A lot of people who have a project that they're looking to get built or created is that oftentimes things go way out of budget. And I do think that's a management thing. So that's part of the construction management process, as well as, whoever's overseeing that, to make sure that, okay, are they just running with whatever money I gave them and they're just kind of being wasteful here or not tracking it properly. So, when it comes to that budget management, which is really difficult in this time, because I know materials costs have really skyrocketed since COVID, since the pandemic hit. How are you able to make sure that you can deliver on budget or reasonably within the budget that was estimated?
We have built 4 residential houses, and of all the 4 residential houses, we have built all the houses within the budget that we had presented to the client. There have been extras that the client requested. There are changes that the client made which were additional to the job, but other than that, once we give you an estimate and once we give you a price, we stick to our price until and unless the client wants some changes, and then we add the extras in meeting with the architect. They make the changes. We price the job even for the extras, get them approved by the client before we move forward with doing any of the extra works that we'll be doing. Everything that we have done up to now, everything has been within the budget that we have presented to the client. And that's where Aquarius comes in good, because we don't ever overcharge people. We always stick to the budget that we have given to the clients. Only changes that will take place is the extras, and that is also with the knowledge of the architect or the construction management team that will take us forward.
Have you ever had to manage? You've had 4 residential homes, so it hasn't been a whole lot of different clients to work with. But even before you started Aquarius, have you ever had to manage kind of unrealistic expectations coming from clients, whether it's how fast you're going to get something done or whether they want changes made but they don't want to budge with the budget?
Luckily for me, the 4 clients that I dealt with, they were all good. They knew what were the changes that they required to do. It was nothing in terms of my changes. There have been issues where we have worked within the budget to allow the client to do certain changes and without giving them any additional charges. So we have done that in a lot of the houses that we have built, without making much of a difference with the budget at all. The only budget changes are the extras, and that is what we do.
So your focus has been mostly residential so far, but you will do commercial work as well.
Yes, I will.
Is it hard for smaller contractors? Is it hard for companies to get on the really big projects that are out there? Because I understand that's been perhaps, I'm going to suggest the word monopolized by certain bigger contracting companies out there, which makes it hard for the smaller ones.
That's true, because whatever you said is correct, because to do big buildings, you need a lot of budget. You need a lot of finances.
A lot of people.
A lot of workers, a lot of management team. Plus, you need to have all the materials that you require to build the project. You have to have the funding to do all the project. A smaller company won't be able to do what a bigger company does. But if you get a small commercial project, like a 3-story building, we would definitely be able to do that.
Okay. What does your team consist of?
Right now, our team is pretty small in the terms of I have my son working with me. My son's name is Moraes. He works with me as a project administrator. And whenever we have the houses, he looks after the day-to-day running of the job. And coming from an engineering background, he has learned his trade over here. He has done well. He has improved, and he can manage the residential houses on his own now. And we have a team of, I have a very good foreman, and I have a good set of carpenters and a good set of masons. So right now we are a company of around 10 to 12 people. So we manage within that, building our residential houses. But if we need to, then we can always get in more workers. And if we need to grow as a company and go into commercial side.
Are workers hard to come by? Like in particular skills, whether it's carpentry, whether it's roofing, masonry?
If you ever find a good carpenter or a good mason, you better keep him.
So yes, they're very hard to come by.
Yeah, because I've had some good carpenters, and during my times, and I've been through a lot of people because I worked at the Ritz-Carlton way back in 2002, 2004. Working with Hurlstone 4-floor Daniel. So a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people. I worked in the field it's not only management. I do management as well as I do all the layouts for even the residential houses.
Mm-hmm.
I do the layouts of the houses myself.
Okay.
I do the interior layouts myself. So it's not like it's a hands-on job that I do. So that's why the quality and the precision in the works that we do in these houses is always correct.
Yeah, and it is what it is. It's a representation of you. It's a stamp of you and what your company can produce.
Yeah, and I always like to train even my carpenters, my masons. I always give them a chance to show themselves, because my way of working is I go on the job site, lay out the thing, explain to them the drawing, get them to work, then come back later on in the day and check whatever they have done.
Okay.
So that way it gives them the freedom to work without the presence of the owner being there, and there's no pressures on them to build the job.
There's no micromanagement going on and whatnot. Okay. But it's interesting to know that it's not the easiest thing to come by as certain skilled workers in this industry. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because I constantly talk about the jobs in Cayman that are available for Caymanians, emerging industries that are coming out. We know that development is going to be very continuous and growing in Cayman. So to see, okay, where are the jobs coming? Where are we lacking in having Caymanians employed? So hence me asking you, are certain skilled positions within construction, is that hard to come by locally? So
in my time in construction, I have found a lot of Caymanians who have been good quality workers.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I had the chance and the opportunity, I have kept them with me, worked along with some of them, and I had my other share of the workers from other countries.
Okay.
So whenever I find a good Caymanian worker, I tend to keep him.
Okay, excellent. We got to go to a commercial break right now, but when we come back, we're going to find out about if you are thinking about building a project and you're looking for a contractor, what are the things that somebody should be looking out for? So we're going to hear what Mr. Ossy has to say about that when we return from the commercial break.
This is Ronnie Anglin. I work in the water sports industry. I'm concerned that our islands are at a high risk of coral bleaching and coral disease outbreaks. Rising sea levels, sea temperatures, and ocean acidification have caused catastrophic increases in the number and severity of coral bleaching events, disease, and death. Snorkeling and diving may one day not be an option. To learn more about climate risk to our islands, visit www.gov.ky/climate change policy.
We give you honor and praise, adoration and glory.
Radio Cayman.
Praise time.
Praise him, praise him. Come and let's praise the Lord. Come and let's praise the Lord. Praise him in the morning and in the evening. Oh, let's praise the Lord.
Praise time in the morning.
Praise him, praise him.
Weekdays 6 to 6:30 a.m.
Radio Cayman, waking you up.
Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite hand. Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite hand.
Praise time.
I know he cares. He'll always be there. Oh, yeah. Praise him, praise him, praise him.
Praise time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it. The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller. Business Buzz.
So, welcome back from the commercial break. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and in studio from Aquarius General Contractors, I have Mr. Ossy Moraes, and I am laughing because in that commercial break, the last thing he said was, "Don't ask me that. I don't want to be in any hot water." And I was like, all right, I won't ask, so our listeners won't know what I'm about to ask or what I wanted to ask her. But that was absolutely hilarious because Man, it just goes to how small a community is and how much we have to communicate and work together to be able to get certain jobs done and not be cut out from things. So going into what I had said before the break, which was if somebody is looking to get their home built or maybe some other smaller commercial project and they're looking to get a contractor, they're maybe not listening to what their architect is saying, but they're looking to get a contractor. How should somebody go about finding a contractor? What are the things that they should be looking out for when they're, I guess, doing their little surveying of who they should be hiring?
Yeah, honestly, they should also try to find out from people who they know, if they know any good contractor first. And also, before they give the job to any contractor, they need to go and see the quality of work that he or she has done. So that way they can see for themselves the quality of the work or the finishings that the contractor has done. That will give them an idea of what they are looking for. There are 3 different type of residential constructions on the island. The low end, the middle end, and the high end, like the residential houses that we have built. So all of them come at different rates and different prices. Also, it depends on where your house is being built, the location of the house. Because if you build something in Crystal Harbor, it will cost you a lot more in the foundation itself because everything over there need to be a pile foundation.
Yes.
Whereas if you do that same house in a different location, like in Georgetown where there is hard rock, it will be much more cheaper comparative to building it in Crystal Harbor. Because the foundation costs a lot of money.
But the value of the home might not be the same.
The value of the home will definitely not be the same because Crystal Harbor as a whole, the value of properties is much higher than it is down in Georgetown or in West Bay.
Things to think about.
Definitely things to think about. But also the property, cost of the property, the land is much more higher in Crystal Harbor than comparative to other parts of the island.
Mm-hmm. Okay, gotcha. So if somebody's, thinking about building out that project, that home or commercial development, how would they get the ball rolling with this?
Yeah.
Do they? I guess everything would be done in terms of plan, but when they come to you and they say, "Hey, this is what I want to do," everything kind of has to be laid out already, or do you work with that and say, these are our recommended kind of materials or what we can get in, or how does that?
Basically, what will happen is a client will go to the architect, get drawings done. Then after the architect does the drawing, he will submit it to planning to get planning approval. After planning approval is done, the architect will send his drawings to all the different trades, to the structural engineer, to mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and if it's a commercial building, for fire sprinklers. So all those drawings need to be done, and then those drawings need to be submitted for BCU approval, Building Control Unit approval.
Okay.
After you get all the approval, once the planning is passed and the BCU approval is there, then only you will get a red card, which will allow you to build, and they will give you the time limit, how long you can build the project.
Oh, they give you a time limit?
They normally give you a year on the red card. I think so, basically, and then you can extend it.
I feel like I've been here, and there was a certain project, and you don't have to comment on this, but it was across from Wendy's on West Bay Road, Wendy's and Pizza Hut. It's a certain hotel there. I feel that whole building for 10, 12 years was getting built. It was wild to me.
Yeah, that was the case with that building, but normally any job that you do, they always give you a time limit if you see on the red card. But you always can get extensions from planning department. They give you extensions of one more year or more than that, depending on the size of the project.
Okay, gotcha. I had no idea about that at all. All right. So when it comes to the projects, timelines, and the deadlines, the quality control is a big idea, a big deal for you as well. Now we know that sometimes one has to give. So quality might suffer a little tiny bit if you have to get it done a lot faster than you expected.
No, definitely not the case.
No, really?
When you want to give people quality work, people, the clients will prefer good quality work, and then they will give you the extension, the time you need to finish the job. Because once you do quality work, it lasts forever.
Right.
If you do something that you do in a hurry, then you can't go back to finish it, and it will take you much longer than what if the client had given you the extension time to finish the job with good quality work.
Okay, all right, got it. Sustainable.
I prefer quality over rushing.
Well, absolutely. But you would think, like, because it's something that is taught to you in project management, right? There's that little kind of 3-triangle tier. So it's time, it's money, and it's quality. So something's going to give a little bit there if you're being pressured. So if you're being pressured with time, it might cost somebody a little bit more money, right? If you want it done quicker, we might have to bring more people in to get it done in that time, which means it's going to be more of a cost to you.
That's true. You can get a job done faster by pushing in more people. It will cost the client a little bit more money if the time deadline is what he is looking for.
Okay.
But if things get delayed because of planning approval, inspections and stuff like that, the client, and if the client is reasonable, then everything has to be done. Most important part in building a house is giving a client a quality job, because he will be living in that house forever.
Right.
So we pride ourselves in giving people quality jobs, and I'm thankful for having worked with architects, especially Mr. Robert Towell, who have been very strict with the quality that he expects of us.
Excellent.
And even all the other architects that I have worked with, because that way people get what they want.
Okay. Now I want to ask about sustainable materials. So that's a really big buzzword, sustainability. I understand why it's an important thing. But when it comes to building, and people are thinking now, okay, how can I have a home that is more sustainable or using sustainable materials? Can you just describe to us what that is? When we're saying sustainable materials, what does that really mean when it comes to building?
Initially, when we started construction in Cayman Island, basically everything used to be 18-inch CMU block. And if clients were ready to pay money, then we used to foam out the building on the outside. And they would also used to fur out the building on the inside, a little bit away from the wall. So that way, the heat, which is such a big factor in Cayman and which makes all our electrical bills and everything go higher. So over a period of time, this has changed with ICF coming in the picture. A lot of people have gone into the ICF type building.
What is ICF?
Insulated foam.
Okay.
Which is like 6 inches of concrete on the inside, 6 to 8 inches of concrete on the inside, and 2.5 inches of foam on the outside. It's foam blocks, and then you use them to put them. It's supplied by Flowers, and you can get them easily from Flowers. So a lot of people have moved from regular blocks, which is also supplied by Flowers, and there are other companies here too that are supplying blocks now. So ICF blocks is the way to go now, because that protects the house from all the heat and everything. Also, a lot of people right now are doing foam, like open cell foam, open cell and closed cell foam, and all the structures in the roofs. So that helps you a lot. It costs you initially money to pay for the foam, but overall, in the long run, it helps you save a lot of money on the electricity bills.
Okay. So when we're thinking sustainable materials, foam is one of those materials that,
yes,
when it comes to
ICF is the way
construction.
to go.
Okay.
Especially if you want sustainable materials to work with.
Okay. What about any trends in building or in homes that you're seeing? What are those trends that you're seeing? Are they coming to Cayman, or certain trends in Cayman that you already see?
Right
off?
now, everybody is going with all the modern structures. Nobody is going with the old contemporary types of roofs. As you can see from the dry or the houses that we have built, basically they're all concrete slab. And what we do is we waterproof the top of the slabs so that there is no leakage, nothing. That way the houses are well protected on the top too.
Okay. Which, storm season, that could be it was an issue for many people. It still stands to be for many people who might have some older homes, whatnot in Cayman. We got maybe about a minute left, so if there's anything you would like to let our listeners know, how they can get in contact with you, for example.
Yeah, we can be contacted at 925-7246 or on our website at aquariusgeneralcontractors.ky, which has all the details for our company and all the projects that we have done and we have finished.
Okay.
So all people who know me can always shout out to me. My phone number is 925-7246. Thanks, Ms. Kelly.
All right, no problem. I'd have to say you're definitely very humble when you come to describing your projects, because they are stunning. They're very, very beautiful. So I can see that you deliver absolutely quality work. But if anything, I want our listeners to walk away with, it's that you are very committed to ensuring that you give a quality work that is on time and that is going to be delivered within budget. So I think those are the three overarching themes that we've kind of hit in this conversation this morning with Aquarius General Contractors. So I want people to keep that in mind when they're reaching out to you.
Thank you for having us on this show.
Absolutely, no problem at all. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day. Thank you to all our listeners for tuning in, and I will be back with you on Thursday for the Business Buzz.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Bride. Cover me.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.